Hi gang, I'm going to do a quick 10-minute stretching routine. The idea behind this is like a cumulative effect, so this is like a daily thing you can do. Shouldn't take more than sort of 10-15 minutes max, but 10 minutes ideally. And what we're looking at doing is, rather than doing long static holds, we're going to do a 30-second hold in various different positions twice. So we're going to accumulate a minute in each position, but we're also going to, because we're doing that daily, over the course of a week, we're going to build up a lot of time in these positions and start to mobilize these joints and start to improve flexibility. So the stuff I'm going to do, it's all basic shapes that you'll have seen before. We're just trying to get into those positions that are going to help our squat, splits, shoulder mobility, etc. And do 30 seconds in each one, moving through fairly quickly, so that after we've done 2 rounds of that, we're looking at about 10 minutes in total. So at least a minute in each position in total. So I'll go through it so you can follow along. You can obviously pull in and put others in if you've got specific things you're trying to work on, or if you've got a particularly tight spot. You could always add in a couple of different stretches for that, like maybe a shoulder or whatever. But I'm going to hit all the basic stuff, so hamstrings, hip flexors, ankles, shoulder flexion, shoulder extension, and then ideally sort of within 10 minutes. So like I said, they're all familiar shapes. You'll have done them before, but we're just going to combine them all to create sort of a 10-minute little package of stretching that you can do every day if you've not got loads of time to do stretching. So I'll talk to you while I'm stretching. I'll talk to you about what we're trying to achieve, but I am going to keep moving through it because we're just wanting 30 seconds in each position. So the first one we're going to get into is a hip flexor stretch. So I'm going to start the clock. We're going to set up, squeeze your bum, open the hips up, getting a stretch down the front of that back leg. We'll have 30 seconds in there, squeezing your bum all the time, and a nice stretch through this hip flexor. Make sure you keep breathing throughout so that we're getting nice and chilled, and the goal is to relax these muscles that we're trying to improve the mobility of. So we're going to come out of that, swap legs, and then sink into that again. Squeeze your bum, open that hip up. We're not overarching the back, we're pushing through the hip. From here we're going to go into ankles. So we're going to do a basic bent knee ankle stretch. You can do a straight leg one if your calves are particularly tight. So from here I'm just going to get into that heel on the floor, get as much weight over that knee as possible, and we should be feeling a stretch down the back of the Achilles into the muscle sitting underneath your calf. If you struggle with your squats, this is a good one. Most people, me included, are tight in the calves and ankles, so this is a really good one to do a lot of, because this tissue in the back of the calf tends to be pretty stubborn. So we're going to come out of that and swap legs. Again, keep the heel on the floor, and we're going to get chest on the knee, get your weight over this knee. So I'm getting all my weight into my Achilles. Have another 10 seconds in here. And from here we're going to go into our hamstring. So we're going to come out of that. I'm going to go to the floor. One leg in, one leg out. I'm going to hinge at the hips to get into my hamstring. Grab your ankle or your foot if you can. I'm not rounding my back and sort of just stretching my back. It's all hamstring. Again, try and relax. Focus on relaxing the hamstrings. Just want a bit of light tension through them to encourage them to relax. And then we're going to come out of that, swap legs. So again, I'm going to hinge forwards. Try and keep your shoulders square. And again, find those hamstrings. Try and relax the hammies. From here, we're going to go into an active stretch of the adductors for your middle splits. So we're going to come up to standing. We're going to take the feet out to a point where I can maintain this without sliding out of control. So we're going not all the way to end range, we're probably a couple of inches short of full end range, and then I'm squeezing my feet together. So I'm trying to pull my feet together to stop me sliding any further. And we're going to have 30 seconds there. Just get a little bit deeper into that. Should be all adductors on this one. "15 seconds. We're going to go into shoulders after this. To come out of this, we're going to reach forwards and just gently come out so we're not straining any muscles on the inside of the legs. So into shoulders, classic sort of shoulder flexion stretch. Thumbs together, hands out in front, and I'm just going to drop my chest to the floor. Trying to get a nice stretch through your lats. You can do this with the hands on a chair or whatever if you want to. If you can get your chest to the floor, obviously in this position, then we need to elevate the hands onto something else, onto a chair or whatever. "10 seconds. And come up out of that, and then shoulder extension. So this is a big one for all you lifters, doing lots of pull-ups, Olympic lifting, etc. Hands behind you, roll the shoulders back, hands on the floor. I use a stick just to stop my hands creeping apart, and then just going to open up into bicep and chest and relax and settle into that for 30 seconds. Shouldn't be any pressure on the elbows. If there is, just come out of it a little bit. "10 seconds. And then we're going to go straight back in and do it all again. So we're up to about 5 minutes now. To come out of this, you're going to slide your bum backwards. So we don't want to put too much strain through the elbows or the shoulders. Back into our hamstring, our hip flexor stretch. So we're going back to where we started. Again, we're going to try and open this hip. So squeeze the bum, get this hip open without arching the back, and we'll have 30 seconds in there. Remember to keep breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Belly breaths. Your belly should be relaxed when we're stretching, and if we're holding tension here, then we're not in a position that we can hold comfortably. Got 10 seconds. And up and out and swap legs. So knee above the ankle, and we're going to open this hip as much as possible. Keep the shoulders square. 30 seconds in there. Again, squeeze your bum. "10 seconds. Remember, nice soft relaxed bellies. Do a little prod test and make sure you're not holding tension anywhere. Go into ankles. So I'm going to get my heel on the floor, get as much weight as I can. If you want to, you can sit some weight on your knee, a kettlebell dumbbell, just to add a little bit of load to it. I've got 10 seconds at that. And swap legs. Same again, we're trying to mimic the squat, bottom of your squat. So heel stays on the floor. Knees as far over the toes as possible, because this is obviously the bottom of our squat. So this is what we're trying to mobilise. Trying to mimic those positions we're trying to get into. So we've got 3 seconds left, and we're going to go straight into hamstrings. So 1 foot in, 1 out, and we're going to hinge at the hips. Try and get hold of that foot or the ankle or whatever you need to get hold of. And we'll have 30 seconds here. Again, belly should be relaxed, shouldn't be holding tension anywhere, so make sure everything else is relaxed. And we're just trying to focus on letting those hamstrings go. 3 seconds, 2, 1, and we'll swap. So again, hinge at the hips, keep the chest up, spine nice and neutral, and focus on finding those hamstrings. Shouldn't be feeling it anywhere else. We're going to go from here into our middle split stretch. I'm going to show you an alternative on this round. So we'll come out of that. So if you found that the active stretch a bit too much, we can get into a half frog stretch and do the same thing, 30 seconds each side, making sure that we're getting the adductors. I'm going to go for my active one though for this, for 30 seconds. So we're going to get out into a position we can hold comfortably, and then we'll go 30 seconds at that. So it should be active. We should be having to try and pull the feet together to stop ourselves sliding out anymore. If you are doing this version and you want a bit of support, you can have a chair or stool in front of you that you can put your weight on to come out of it. So we've got 5 seconds. Again, come out of it without straightening anything. We're going to go from there into our shoulder flexion. We're going to have 30 seconds in here. Try and think about pushing your hands away from your shoulders. So we're trying to open up this shoulder joint as much as possible before we then open it up. So we're trying to open the shoulder away from me before we try and lean into it, if that makes sense. So you want your shoulders as close to your ears as possible and as far away from your hips as possible. 10 seconds. We're going to go from here into our shoulder extension. So come up out of that one. Your last one. So hands hip width apart, no wider. And then from there we're going to open up into the stretch. A little bit deeper this time. Things are starting to open up a little bit. Again, make sure everything's relaxed. We're not holding tension anyway. We're rolling the shoulders back. We're not dumping the shoulders forwards. Belly's relaxed. Just breathing and relaxing. Under 10 seconds. And then we're going to slide the bum back to come out of it. And that's it, about 12 minutes, hopefully that took. So, that's it. Those are the basic, that's a really nice basic one. You feel welcome to sort of sub in stuff that you prefer doing, but the protocol is the essential bit. We're going to do 30 seconds on each in each position twice without stopping, just moving through it, and then try and get that in every day, or at least sort of 5 or 6 days a week. and then over time you're going to see that those positions improve and your mobility improve, rather than just doing a static hold once a week. It's a good way to kind of just get time into those stretches. So I hope you found that useful. If you've got any questions, drop them in and ask me. If there's anything else you'd like to see in that routine, I can do a follow along for you. Any specific sort of positions you want to work on, splits, etc., then give me a shout. Cheers.